You're not using your side lengths as the base and the heights. This is what you miss most often on this one. For a parallelogram, it has to be the base and then a height has to be drawn that's perpendicular. So you're not using this right here. That's not perpendicular to the base. Okay?
That's just on one that's slanted.
Say that again?
That's just on one that's slanted, right? So if it's a square or rectangle, we can...
Yes, if it's a square or rectangle, you're using the side. All right, for a rhombus, the formula for area is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. You can still use base times height, but there's times where I give you the diagonals. So I want you to know this formula as well. Okay? Because a rhombus is a parallelogram, so you can use the base times height formula, but a lot of times I just give you the diagonals.
Alright, so with diagonal 1, would that just be all the way to where the area is set?
No, all the way across. All the way across. Okay, kite. It is also 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. And of course, the perimeter, we're just adding up all the sides. Okay, for a trapezoid, it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Some people write it as base 1 plus base 2 times height over 2. It doesn't matter. You can do either way. Okay, base 1 plus base 2 times height over 2. All right, so in your previous classes, you've never done a regular polygon. Now, Miss Waits may have done, I don't remember in honors if she does, like where you cut the pentagon up into triangles. I don't remember if she does that or not, but I guess it doesn't really matter. What is a regular polygon? What does the word regular mean?
All the sides are equal.
All the sides are equal. So this doesn't work if it's an irregular pentagon or an irregular octagon. But if you have a regular polygon, your formula is 1/2 AP. So all the other ones, I feel like you knew what those were. I want to make sure we know what these letters are. We'll actually spend a whole day on regular polygons. The A value stands for a word. Maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't. It's called the apothem. The apothem. Your apothem is the distance between the center and the side perpendicular. So if it's an octagon, a hexagon, any of that, it's 1/2 apothem times, what do you think the big P stands for?
Perimeter.
Perimeter. So A is apothem, P is perimeter. And we'll spend a whole day on that later on, but I want you to go ahead and have the formula. Square is side squared. Technically, you could also do base times height. And then a square perimeter, you can add up all the sides, or it's 4 times the side length. Okay, so you need to start memorizing these. You're going to have a quiz next week on the formulas. Okay, look on the back real quick. It says things to remember in this chapter. So there are going to be some times where we have to use sine, cosine, and tangent. Good thing Miss J gave me that mixture view to review all
I
that.
have a question about that. Should we answer?
Okay, ask me in just a minute. And then also special triangles. You'll be using those this chapter as well. Okay? All right, so leave that out. And I'm going to give you a little sheet for us to work on. One thing that's interesting to me in this chapter is that you'll ask me what shape is that. I don't know what shape that is to find the area. So you don't know what formula to use because you don't know what the shape is. I find that interesting.
Well,
Guess that.
oh, that's around like that.
Now, for today, we're going to write the formula when we work the problem. You don't have to write the formula every time when you're doing your test or quiz, but we're just going to do it to start learning them because you are going to have a quiz on the formulas. All right, so number one, what is your shape? What is that? A trapezoid. What is the? Okay.
1/2 B1 plus A1 times H.
So we need our calculator. Unless you want to do this by hand.
Isn't there another triangle that you could make?
Yes.
Why isn't that an important part of the
Well, if you want to split it into two figures and do two triangles and a rectangle, that's fine. But I may not have all the information needed to do that. So just use the trapezoid formula. All right, so we're going to have 1/2 square root of 51 plus 14.1 times 9.3. Square root of 51 plus 14.1 times 9.3. And then you're going to multiply all that by 1/2, or you can divide by 2, whatever makes you happy. And give me a decimal rounded to one place. Say what? 98.7. Real emphasis. 0.7. So if it's 0.77, then what is it? So I get 98.8. Okay, I need you to start putting the units. So does this have units, like inches, centimeters, feet?
No.
Then we're going to write units, or U, squared. So if it doesn't have units, you just write U squared for units squared, because we don't know what the units are. If it's inches, centimeters, whatever, you write that squared, because area is squared. Perimeter would just be regular inches. All right, number 2, what do you got right there?
Polygon.
So we got a pentagon. This is a regular polygon. I won't be giving you any that are irregular. So what is the formula for a pentagon?
1/2 A times B.
1/2 apothem times perimeter. What number up there is my apothem?
4.3.
So we're going to do 1/2, 4.3. And what do I do to get the perimeter?
12 times 5.
12 times 5. Because if it's regular, all these are the same length. So my perimeter is going to be 12 times 5. So you can do this separate, make this 60, and then go from there. Or you can type it all in at one time, whatever you want to do. So 1/2 times 4.3 times 12.5. This one does have a unit, so we're going to make it centimeters squared.
Wait, where did you get the 12.5?
Say that again.
Where did you get the 12.5?
Not 12.5, 12 times 5.
Oh, I was like,
Because this is 12, and there's 5 sides. So 12 times 5.
so it's 4.3 and 12 times 5.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering.
And you can make this, I mean, if you want to go ahead and make this 60 for the perimeter, you can. Okay, what'd you get? 29? 129. 129 even? Well, Philip?
I got 1.5.
Centimeters squared. Okay, so when I copied this, it did not, we gotta add a little bit to it. On the test, it would be marked for you. So 13 is only from here to here, so mark that on your paper. 10 is this length right here. All right, so what shape do I have?
Triangle.
A triangle. What's the formula?
1/2 base times height.
1/2 base times height. Okay, 13 is only to that line. So what am I going to do to get the rest of this little piece right here? I'll call that X. Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to be moving from area and perimeter like we did in 5th and 6th grade to we're going to have to use things we learned this year. Okay? So Pythagorean theorem, I know the answer is 6, so I'm just going to go with it for time's sake. So if I do Pythagorean theorem, I get that this length is 6. So 1/2. What's my base now? 19. And what's my height? 8. So that's basically 4 times 19.
Wait, where'd the 6 go? What'd you do with it?
I added it to the 13.
So you would to calculate it, you do 1/2 times 19, and then after you get that, just multiply that to 8.
You can do that. Or you can type it all in at one time. You can just do 1/2 times 19 times 8 all in one.
What do you have to add?
Well, yeah, or you know that half of 8 is 4. And so you can do 4 times 19. Because it doesn't matter which one you take half of. Okay. All right, so that should give you what? What's 1/2 times 8 times 19? 76. Units squared. Bless you. Okay, what shape is 4? A trapezoid. We've already done a trapezoid, so for time's sake, let's keep going. So I want you to go to this next section. What's different in this next section?
We don't know what the long side.
We don't know what the other side is. So they're going to give me an area, and they're going to give me a length, and they're asking me to find the other length. Now, I feel like everybody in this room could have done 7 before I started teaching today, right? Okay, so we would take 576 and do what with it?
Divided by 18.
Divided by 18. So I feel like that's easy. What shape is 8?
Parallelogram.
A parallelogram. Could be a rhombus, maybe, but we know it's a parallelogram.
Yeah, I don't think it's wrong.
Please remember that when you have a parallelogram, it's base times height, and your height has to be perpendicular. So X is my height. Okay, so basically these two you're working the exact same way. You're taking area and dividing it by the side. But when we get over here, we got a little more going on over here with this trapezoid. So we've got to write an equation. So area, so 288.96 equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2. On this one, 40.2 is the whole length. On the test, I mark it for you. So, like, if it's the whole thing, I put like this. So you can tell everything. Okay? So it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times what? Height. And in this case, the height is 9.6. I'm just going to add that over to the side. Okay, so we have options. We could distribute the 1/2. We could divide by 9.6. But I'm going to get rid of the fraction first. So what's the opposite of multiplying by 1/2?
Divided.
Dividing by 1/2 or multiplying by what? Multiply by 2. So why don't we multiply both sides by 2 so we can get rid of this 1/2? Okay, so somebody do 288.96 times 2. 288.96 times 2.
577.92.
0.92.
That's what it says.
if you were working this on your test, would you distribute the 9.6 or would you divide by 9.6?
Definitely divide.
Okay, so you can distribute, or since 9.6 is being multiplied, divide by 9.6,
60.2.
and you get 60.2. And then subtract 40.2, so x is 20. I would put a star by that because you're going to see a problem like that again, where you have to set it equal to the trapezoid formula. What is this? 20 what? No, like, is it feet or feet squared?
Feet square.
Is this an area?
It's feet.
It's just feet.
Oh, yeah, it's just feet.
Because this is the length of the top. Okay? When it's area, it's feet squared.
It's just a straight line. How would that be feet? Feet square would be a key. Wow.
All right, at this point, I feel like everybody in this room can do 10 and 12. Well, it's kind of looking at me funny.
He can do it.
What kind of shape is 10? Okay, now do y'all see why people come up to my desk and say, I don't know what formula to use because I don't know what the shape is? What shape is number 10? A parallelogram.
But had wells.
It kind of looks like a trapezoid.
It really doesn't.
Not really.
And so a parallelogram is base times height. So it's 12 times 24. Let's test his knowledge, okay? Wells, what kind of shape is 12?
12 is a rectangle.
Perfect. So we do 12 times 15. So those are easy, cheesy, lemon squeezy. All right, let me give you a hard one. What shape is 11?
Trapezoid.
A trapezoid.
Oh,
You would not believe it.
Jack, why is this dotted line on the outside?
that's the height.
That's the height. So base 1, base 2, that doesn't matter the order. So base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay? 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. All right, I want to get down here to these bottom ones real quick. All right, so 13 is a rectangle. We know that. What do we not have?
Other side.
The other side. So we know that the formula is base times height, and we have a height of 8, but we don't have a base. I'll just call this B. What's that 25 degrees there for?
SOHCAHTOA.
Oh,
If I had a confetti gun, I would shoot the confetti gun right now. SOHCAHTOA.
I wish you.
So, what is 8? Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse.
8.
Opposite. What is base? Adjacent. What do we use for opposite and adjacent?
Tangent.
Tangent.
of course.
So tan 25 equals opposite over adjacent. Oops, that's my base. What do I do when the variable's on the bottom? Switch them out. So in your calculator, we're making sure it's in degrees. And we're going to say 8 divided by tan 25. And here's some clicking, so some people are actually doing it.
Cole's got it.
17.
17.
17.156.
All right, let's just go with 17.2.
Nice.
And then
Where? Where?
base times height, so 8 times 17.2. So your area is what?
It would be. 0.2 or 0.6?
At 0.6.
Okay, well this is what depends.
I put in 17.
If you just did 17.2 times 8, you're going to get a different answer than if you did type this in the calculator and then hit that times 8, like and you don't retype it. So You may got be a little bit off on your decimals. It's okay. So units squared. Okay, Willis, you probably need to pay attention because you didn't know that that was a parallelogram up there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, great. All right, 14.
From.
What do you think 14 is? It's a rhombus.
Gotta be the rhombus.
How do I know it's a rhombus and not a kite?
Well, a kite doesn't have all four equal sides.
Cold.
Get the confetti gun.
If I had a confetti gun right now, you and Ford would get a confetti gun right now. So,
It's like, well,
what is the formula for a rhombus? One half diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Now, Peyton asked me earlier, was the diagonal halfway or all the way? All the way. So 2.7 is only halfway. So I got to do another 2.7. Well, 2.7 plus 2.7 is 5.4. So what is the length of the other one? 2.8. So 1 half diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. You've got to double it because it only gave you half of it. Does that make sense? Okay, Will Phillip, let's say that Miss J wanted you to find the perimeter of number 14. Do you have any of the sides? No. What would I use to find the side length? Pythagorean theorem. Because the diagonals of a rhombus are what?
One of them is equal and the other, like, they're
Perpendicular.
Thank you. Confetti gun.
men's
I
all.
don't know what Carson said, but
Oh,
okay.
Made of
So Will Phillip would do Pythagorean theorem to get this side length, and then to find the perimeter, he would multiply it by 4. Correct? Okay, great. All right, I want you to do 15. You're finding the area. Figure out what you're missing and what you're supposed to do.
Should I try this question with a mixed review?
Mm-hmm.
There's gotta be.
First off, did I do this one right? Think about it. Also, that's my angle. That's adjacent. That's my color. Adjacent goes on top, right? That means it'd be divided by, right?
Cosine 25 equals 13 over x.
So it's 13 divided by.
Cosine 25. And that's the hypotenuse, so it should be longer.
How do you do this one?
So you should have drawn it this way. Instead of that.
I just know that.
That gives me a rectangle and a triangle. And the way you did it, with 2 triangles, which I mean isn't technically wrong.
Wait, so how do I do it now then? I have a rectangle triangle. That's
Okay, so you know that this is 20, right?
Mhm.
You know that this whole thing is 24.
Yep.
That means that's 4. Because if this whole thing's 24, and then that's 10, right? This go all the way across,
yeah.
and then you can do that great 10 squared plus 4 squared plus 8 squared.
Where do we 4 squared times 10 squared?
It's either, I mean, but it doesn't matter.
I know, but you still.
I would tell you. I'll take it.
It was fair. Is it okay if I got a decimal?
I don't think.
All right, I don't want to ask Kohler Ford because they're on a roll. So I need somebody else to have confetti
Way
gun.
to go, Cole.
So Will Phillip, what shape is this?
Triangle.
Yes.
It's a trapezoidal.
Confetti gun.
It's a-
Okay. So 1/2 base times height. So Blair, I don't have a height. So what do you think I should do to get a height? TOA. So opposite and adjacent. So tan 65 equals opposite over adjacent. And then
multiply it. and-
X is on the top, so we multiply. So 5 square root of 3 times 1065 gives me gives me
Good question.
18.6, and then do 1/2 base times height. Did you get that?
What?
That's awkward.
No.
You gotta multiply.
Oh, wait, what? You
Yeah.
studied? I'm confused.
Because you need to find.
I did that wrong.
You gotta multiply.
Come get it.
I'm so confused.
Because that's
We didn't
opposite.
have either. So that's what I thought, and then I erased it.
So Jack,
Curl it.
Shut up.
do you figure out the tan based on where there's like
Got me weird.
there's nothing on the height to like
You're basing it on the angle measure. So this is the angle measure that I'm using. So this is my opposite, and this is my adjacent. Okay? Alright, I need you to listen to me, please. So, you're coming in here on Friday. You're having a mixture view that is turned in, ready to go on Friday. Michelle will be here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do Friday.
Let's do
I
Friday.
will be here.
Friday at A, B, or C.
And 8
That's traveling.
But, Jack, you're not listening. But I'm not gonna see your face until Monday.
We have to see on.
So by Monday, I would like for you to try to find the area of this figure right here. That's all I'm asking. By Monday, it's a weekend project. But by Friday, you're gonna have mixture view.
Okay.